Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Random Vlogging! Yeah. For those of you that watch my vlogs around this time of the year, uh, you will generally see kind of a downward turn to them. For those of you that are unaware, um, I have clinical depression. My official diagnosis is depression with anxiety. So not only do I have depression, but I get to have panic attacks on top of depression. So that's fun. People with depression around this time of year tend to do poorly for a number of reasons. One, um, depending on which hemisphere you're in, if you are in the northern hemisphere, like I am, the days are getting shorter. You are getting less sunlight. So a lot of people actually get what's called, and this is probably the worst acronym ever, just for the fact that it's just a bad pun. But it's called SAD, and it's seasonally. I think it's seasonally acquired or seasonally affected. Depression disorder. And what it is due to the lack of sunlight that your body is not absorbing. When you absorb sunlight through your skin, you create a vitamin. I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's vitamin D, but I may be wrong. And that affects a lot of different things. So when you don't have as much sun, you don't create this vitamin, and it actually can cause depression in a lot of different people. So people that already have depression get this added, bad thing of, well, now I'm not getting as much sunlight, and so now I'm going to get even worse. The other thing that affects people about around this time of year is this time of year, at least in the States, and technically the closer you get to Christmas, this is all around the world because Christmas is an international holiday. Everyone is basically trying to focus on good feelings and merriment and happiness. And in the States, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, which is all about being thankful for what you have. And there's a very large emphasis on being with family and friends. So everyone tends to be in a slightly better mood around this time, and they're really really focused on being happy and being thankful and things like that. And for a depressive who doesn't always have control over their mood, this can be very very frustrating. And so it's very, very noticeable this time of year for people that have depression, because any other time in the year, if you're feeling bad, chances are you're going to find other people that feel bad, even if they're not depressed. They just, bad things happen to people all the time. However, now you're constantly reminded that everyone is feeling good, like everything from TV ads to you know, and literally everywhere you go, Christmas music, everything is all about being happy and being joyful. Uh, and for depressives, there are certain times in our life where we just can't be. It's part of the disease. And it becomes very, very noticeable this time of year, just simply because of how much it's kind of beaten into our heads that we're supposed to be happy. So this time of the year, I don't particularly tend to do very well. The other thing that's fun for me personally is bad things generally tend to happen to me personally around this time of the year. Um, we've had two dogs that have died around this time, one of which was my dog. His name was Elvis, and he was my dog because he was the family dog, but I was the one that took him for walks and exercised him. Whenever I was in the house, he was beside me. He was my dog. And Thanksgiving morning, I missed out on watching the parade and helping with dinner and everything because I was at a vet hospital putting my dog to sleep. We lost our other dog more recently. If I remember correctly, it was around this time of year. When I first moved out on my own, it was because my parents kicked me out 2 weeks before Christmas due to an argument we had had. We've made up. I live with them again now. And that's never happening again. But that was really bad. I found out that one of my teachers, whom I was really, really close with in high school, his wife had cancer around this time. Um, I most recently I had to quit my job around this time of year due to seeking medical help for my depression, due to a lot of other things. Like, this is a bad time of year for me. So I make a very concentrated effort to try and focus on as many positive things as I can. In general, it doesn't tend to work a ton. Um, and I focus really hard on any accomplishments I can. Even if it's something as simple as, like, today, I cleaned my room a little bit. It's a tiny thing. My room is still a disaster area, but I was able to set a goal and I met the goal because I cleaned up one specific area of my room, and that was enough for me to be able to go, no, I did something, and that's a good thing. So yeah, every year around this time, I tend to kind of think over the past year to just kind of see how far I've gone. Um, Last year at this time, I had a job that I thought I really enjoyed, but right around now is actually when it was getting its most stressful. This time last year, in about 2 weeks, uh, things that I actually can't talk about happened, and they convinced me that I could no longer work for that company. Um, so that was fun. I was really, really stressed out at this point last year as well because I was pulling extra hours at work because of the holiday. I was getting yelled at by quite a few different people. So that's just generally how this time year works in retail. I vehemently despise it. Um, I made kind of a pledge years ago that I will no longer work. I 100% I will not work on Thanksgiving at all. I refuse to do it, and any job that would force me to do it, I just simply won't do. And I have worked very, very hard to not work on Black Friday because it is an evil, evil, evil soul sucking day. I generally tend to stay indoors. I don't like being outside during Black Fridays. It's just a horrible time in general in this country. And it's really sad because Thanksgiving, besides the fact that we keep killing animals on it, is one of my more favorite holidays. So, yeah. Um, so this past year has been crazy. Mostly just this past, probably the past 6 months have been really, really intense. Um, I uh, I did the charity event. We raised over 30, uh, which I think is $3,600. Yeah, 3601. We raised 3601 for charity. That was intense and it was incredibly difficult on me. It was incredibly difficult for everyone involved. We had some curveballs thrown in at the last minute that were unbelievably difficult for me, but we got through it. I'm now a local coordinator for the D&D Adventures League, which is, I'm not going to go into details, but has been far more stressful than I really envisioned it being. Um, I'm now uh, the organized play coordinator for Nexus Game Fair, which is a local convention, and I've been able to do some pretty awesome, amazing things with that, especially since now we're starting to ramp up and we're starting to plan for Nexus next year, and so that has been really, really interesting and fun. Um, and then as dumb as it sounds, I passed my fucking accounting course. I despised it. It is probably the worst course I've ever taken. I hope to never do it again, which is why I'm taking managerial accounting now. And yeah, so I mean, a lot of stuff happened, and I'm really, really pleased about it. However, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I am 27 years old. In 27 years, I have never not spent Thanksgiving with my family, ever. Even if we were having horrible fights or whatever, I always spent Thanksgiving with my family. Um, this year, my family decided to head off to visit my brother in law and sister. Uh, for Thanksgiving. The way they were going there was driving, and we drove down there once before. It was one of the most miserable experiences of my life. I am a very large person. I'm about 6'4", uh, and fitting me into a car at all is never an enjoyable experience. Fitting me into a car that's full of everything we need to make it all the way, it's I don't know. Uh, it's a long trip. It normally takes 2 days to get down there. Is very, very difficult. It's very, very uncomfortable. My knees and joints in general are not all that great from me doing stupid things and not warming up before I practiced martial arts years ago. Um, so yeah, I was absolutely miserable. Um, and when we got there, I was sick almost the entire time. So I decided this year that I wasn't going to go. I made some plans with some friends of mine. Uh, that I just found out today have unfortunately fallen through. So, for the first time in 27 years, I am spending Thanksgiving alone. And with my first round of, I guess, more targeted therapy, I've been going to therapy now for over a month. Um, and again, I've gone to therapy before. I've never gotten anything out of it. The only reason I'm going this time is specifically to learn some coping mechanisms and hopefully uh, be able to not really recover, but kind of reconfigure my brain so that the next time I relapse and start remembering this repressed memory that I dealt with over the summer, I can deal with it better. Um, Thus far, we haven't really gotten anywhere because the first 4 weeks was basically us going over just generalized coping techniques that you can use. Everything from grounding to breathing techniques. We had one that was called the light technique that I wasn't real keen on, but I learned it anyway because it's never a bad idea to know as many different coping techniques as possible. Um, So Tuesday, we started the kind of directed therapy, the EMDR. We didn't actually do the actual eye movement aspect. Right now, we're starting to try and connect the repressed memory with other aspects of my life to try and figure out exactly what it's done to me. And it was, even though we took it really, really lightly and we're just like, you know what, we're gonna start off really, really easy, don't really worry about it. It was intense. It was incredibly intense. um, Even though the actual targeted therapy I think only lasted like 20 minutes. um, I didn't stream that night. I was very, very depressed that night and the next day, to the point where I was a little bit worried about myself. But I got through it because I was counting tomorrow to be able to go and spend some time with some friends that I haven't actually seen in a very long time, probably close to a year now. Uh, and so now that's fallen through. I feel really bad, to be 100% honest. Um, like I said, it was something I was really looking forward to, and I'm not mad at them at all. It's They have a family thing that they have to deal with, and I'm up. Again, I'm 100% fine with that. It's just like I said, this is the first time in 27 years I've spent Thanksgiving alone, um, and I'm in this very well, not very. It's a two-story, what, I guess technically you could call it a four-bedroom house. Um, So yeah, two-story, four-bedroom house. I have no idea what the actual square footage of it or anything like that, but it's a big house, and it's me, my dad's fish, and the family cat. Who, to be honest, depending on what she wants, either hates my guts, thinks I'm the most amazing person in the world, or more often than not, thinks that I work for her. And is very annoyed when I don't do exactly what it is that she wants. We have wonderful conversations. And anyone that owns a cat knows exactly what I mean when I say we have conversations. Like you will talk to your cat and they will talk back. And if you don't own a cat, you're not going to understand, but it happens. So yeah, tomorrow's gonna be weird, to be 100% honest. Um, I have no idea what I'm gonna do other than I've got school stuff that I'm behind on right now that I'm going to use tomorrow and Friday to kind of catch up on. Um, and I'm gonna just kind of relax and enjoy myself, and play some video games, and try not to focus on the fact that I'm alone. Uh, so yeah, um, life is weird right now, guys. I have no idea what's going to be happening over the next. This therapy that I'm doing is an every other week thing. So I have a week off to focus on school, and then I have a week on where I only go to therapy once every other week. But that one, like that will be a week of me dealing with that. So yeah. Anyway, so I hope you guys have a lovely Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are able to spend it with people that you love. Um, and yeah, I will probably see you guys tomorrow for another daily vlog. All right? Bye bye!